Thank you so much, Candace, for joining us today on this very special episode of my Wisdom Wednesday video series. I have a couple special guests with me actually today. I have John McMullen from the MBA, and I'll have him introduce himself. And then I also have Candace. So, John, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself first, and I will then hand it over to Candace.
Awesome. Thank you, Ashley. Hello, everyone. John McMullen here. I serve as the Senior Policy Specialist of Residential Policy and Strategic Industry Engagement at here at MBA. Happy to be a part of today's discussion.
Awesome. Thank you, John. And Candace, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Hey, so my name is Candace Windsor. I'm a loan processor for DHI Mortgage out of our South region. We just moved to South region. We were South Central. So a little bit about me. I've been in the mortgage industry probably about 6 years. I started with DSLD Mortgage in Southwest Louisiana as a builder sales assistant. So I wasn't in the mortgage industry. That was just how I kind of got introduced to it. So I was doing assistant sales for about a year, and then they were building in the area. So they decided to put me in the mortgage company. From there, I started as a junior loan processor and then just worked my way up to loan processor. I eventually moved over into loan originating for a little while during COVID. So that was fun for a new loan originator and a new mom. I learned a lot, but then I felt like I was more like my niche is processing, more so originating. So I accepted a position with DHI Mortgage as a loan processor. And I've been here for almost like 3.5 years now. So yeah.
That's great. That's great. I know, I think our stories are similar. I started as a loan processor in 2014 with a nationwide credit union and kind of worked my way through the operations department and was kind of ended up at that company as a manager of operations. But I love that you said you did a little bit of the loan origination and realized that maybe that's not for you and you loved processing more. I love that. I love that you kind of followed your path into what you were passionate about.
Yeah, I mean, I do appreciate the path that I took with origination just because it gave me a little bit more perspective. So I was able to come back to the processing department with a loan origination mindset and more of like because the buyers, that's what you really work for, like what we're like work directly with as a loan originator. So I got a lot more perspective of like how to handle buyers and their stressors and their emotions. So it made me a better processor.
I think that's absolutely fantastic. I have said multiple times on this platform as well as just within my journey that the not only cross training but really understanding and knowing what the roles around you, especially in the life cycle of a loan, front and back, knowing what they do makes you so much more appreciative and knowledgeable of then how to set up a loan and making sure that you're understanding how to prepare a loan so that it can move through underwriting quicker or a lot more smoothly. And it just really makes the transaction better for the buyer, as you said, and makes you more knowledgeable about what the entire experience is. So I love that. I'm glad you were able to gain that perspective.
Yeah, and with DHI, I was afforded the opportunity to junior underwrite files. So I'm also obtaining on the underwriter's perspective and how to underwrite and final approve loans. So that is also making me a better processor because I know the whole scope of it now.
Oh, I love that. I love that they offered that cross-training opportunity. That's fantastic. I wanted to highlight just a couple things. One you touched on that you were a new mom, and I love that. I am also a new mom, and I can't imagine being a loan originator in the heart of COVID and being a new mom. That must have been
Wild.
absolutely insane.
I learned time management and stress management. So
Yes, I can believe that. I absolutely believe that. And then it also says that you are a proud member of the United States Marine Corps. So thank you so much for your service.
Thank you. Yeah,
Very nice.
about to touch on that. That kind of was like the building blocks of who I am today. It helped me, become the person that I am today. I got out of the Marine Corps in 2017, but they always say, like, once a Marine, always Marine. The foundation that they instilled in me does not leave. So I bring that work ethic into my personal relationships with my buyers, but also with like my team, my coworkers, and just everyday life. So it was a great experience. Mm.
That's great. Well, thank you again for your service. That it
Thank
means
you.
a lot.
Kenneth, again, congratulations on winning this award.
Thank
Ashley has had quite a few interviews in the past on the Wisdom Wednesday platform, speaking to mentorship and not just having a bond with someone that's in the industry, but the importance of working with someone that has exceptional skills in in the field that you are pursuing, and how that helps to assure that you're on the right trajectory in your career. Is there anyone that comes to mind when you think about mentorship or sponsorship that has been instrumental to you in your career path that you can talk to?
I do have two people. I'll go all the way back to my recruiter with the Marine Corps, and a lot of veterans probably don't go back to their recruiter and say that they're their mentor, but my recruiter, I still keep in contact with him. He offers me advice just with career or personal life. He really laid, like I said before, like he was, like my foundation was laid for me and my future the moment that I met my recruiter. So his name is James Coons. He's no longer in, but we keep in contact from every so often. Here at DHI, I would say my team lead, Rachel Williams, she's not my official mentor, but
Mhm.
we've become very close. I look up to her. She's been in, I think, DHI for like 10 years, I think. Um, but she helps me, offers me advice and guides me and gives me opportunities to grow in my position.
Mhm.
Um,
Mhm.
she's been really helpful with my growth in this company.
Very nice. And I just have one more question. So there's a lot of stats, millennials and Gen Zs, our pressures and our stresses are not of those of our previous generations. And so what would be one or two things, tidbits that you would give someone that is potentially buying to apply for this award in the summer to maximize their career goals and their trajectory? What was like one or two things you will say to them to that?
Um, I would think, I think I would say to have confidence in yourself. I have problems with this because I know the mortgage industry as a whole is so large and there's so many things that you can do. And there's so much to learn and it's always changing. But if you have confidence in yourself and in your role, and if you know what you're doing, other people are going to notice you. Um, I would not be afraid to ask questions, especially to people outside of your roles. So, for example, as a processor, asking questions to an underwriter, sometimes that can be very scary, and we all know it is. But if you open up that line of communication with the underwriter, they're going to most likely remember you and say, hey, this processor, she's eager to learn, or he's eager to learn. That'll really make you stand out. Also, remain focused on your goals and set intentions every day so you're able to reach those goals, whether it be for high customer service scores or you just want to get your files done in a timely manner. If you can, stick to those points and all of your goals, then I think you're going to be set up for success in the future.
Awesome.
The very last thing that I have to touch on, because it's very impressive and I just need to hear more about this, because
Okay.
it's also something that I love to do, maybe not as intensely, but you are part of, it says, a member of the Lake Charles, Louisiana powerlifting community.
Yes, I am. I love it.
Do you compete?
I do. Yes. Yeah. It's just for
Gosh,
fun. It's
that's
not anything crazy, but I'm a part of Lake Charles Powerlifting Gym, and I have been off and on for the last few years. Um, but I love the environment. Being a single mom to a daughter, I'm able to bring her to the gym. I'm able to show her that women don't always have to just sit behind a desk, or they don't always have to just pick up 5-pound weights. Um, she watches me deadlift, squat, bench. She's been flexing her biceps for me, drinking her protein shake. So I like that I'm able to show her that women can be in strong spaces where men are, and sometimes we're stronger. So
I love that.
do
I love that.
you power lift too?
Well, I used to do CrossFit. I think that's the closest I've gotten to like the full powerlifting or Olympic lifting. I still do relatively the same form of that, not formally or competitively or anything like that. At least not since college, but I do lift. So that was
Oh,
something that caught my eye as awesome. And I love the fact that you bring your daughter to that. It's so incredibly important. I have a son, he just turned 1, so he's not
aw.
quite coming to the gym yet. But
Oh my.
I think it's important for the exposure, just to be able to see what the parents do and what's passionate to them. And I think it's really, really important. So kudos to you for bringing her along. Candace, thank you so much for joining us. I am so incredibly excited to have been able to interview you today on this special edition of the Wisdom Wednesday video series.
Again, just to kind of echo a little bit what Ashley were saying, when we were coming together and was picking each other's brain about an award, we realized that in the next 20 years, there's going to be a shift in the leadership. And there are a lot of millennials, Gen Zs that are just really good at what they do, but they're so consumed in work that they aren't really being spotlighted. And so this was an opportunity for us to come together and put it on our platforms, because we're kind of like an echo chamber. So what is seen will be seen, it will be reverberated throughout the entire industry. So you'll be able to network, expand your social capital, and also be set up for potential career success. Someone may say, "Hey, I think you have an issue area that is an issue area for my particular company that you can come on and kind of help." So that's kind of was the reason behind it. So you embodied all those qualities quite finely.
Well, thank y'all so much. I really appreciate it. It means a lot to be recognized, even outside of my organization.
Thank you so much again. And I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.